As usual, as I told you, the conversations always start on the veranda. This is my little place, right? I was just thinking. I had a conversation recently about what is acceptable as regards to men and women investing in each other. Ugh. I know it's a very touchy topic. I know that we have mixed feelings about that. Should you invest in your partner? Should your partner invest in you? I think it's time for us to go and chat. Come, let's go chat.
Chattingzpan Divaranda, where we discuss topics that intrigues us. Grab a glass, it's time to chat. Chattingzpan Divaranda.
Once again, thank you for joining me on the veranda. You know we're gonna chat it up as usual. And thank you guys for the interaction. Thank you for continuing to reach out to me. I sincerely appreciate it, and I'm happy that you're enjoying the topic. Great. So feel free to share other ideas with me. Let us jump right into tonight's topic. All right. So I'm going to rub around it tonight, and I'm going to rub it in the wrong way because we're going to talk about it. We're going to chat about it. Yeah. Should man invest in woman, and should women invest in men? What do you think about that? And when I say invest, I mean not only financially, but to be completely honest, I'm interested in hearing about the financial investment. Your opinions on that within a relationship, and what context and what type of relationship do you think is okay for men and women to invest in each other? Is it only for marriages? Or if they're in a long-term committed relationship, is it okay then? Or if during courtship, the man just try to get to know the woman, or the woman just trying to get to know the man, is that too early to start investing? What are your thoughts? Chat what's on your mind in the comment section. I really want to hear this because for a long time I've had mixed feelings. Yeah, and when I talk to my brethren, when I talk to my male chatters, I used to always tell them, and I still do, before you invest in a female, make sure that you have invested that amount of energy or more in yourself. And before you chat against me, let me tell you why I say so. The reason why so many abuse happens because of investment, financial investment in one person or the other is because many times that individual would have not invested so much in themselves, and they're looking at it like, I'm going to invest so much in him, I'm going to invest so much in her, and it becomes more bitter. I'm not saying if you would have invested in yourself, it hurts less, but I'm saying you can say, you know what, at least you're in a position to bounce back. That's my opinion about it. But when you just forget about yourself, put yourself on the back burner, and then just invest full on in somebody else, and then you're waiting on those returns and you don't get what you expect, it becomes a very dangerous situation. So please, before you invest in anybody, men or women, invest in yourself. Alright? I heard years ago from my dad, my better half. My dad never used to like to hear that term, my better half, or the two of us come together and make a whole. My dad always used to say two whole persons should come together and make something even better. And I completely agree with that statement. Because when you would have neglected yourself and then you invest everything in somebody else, all your expectations are in that one person. As Jamaican would say, we put all our eggs in a one basket. If that basket turns over and all the eggs are damaged or broken, what do we have? We have nothing else. I'm not telling you this now, Mr. or Miss, to invest in two different persons. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, invest, if you're going to invest in your partner, make the other person be yourself, right? Invest in yourself. Just like I used to always tell women, you're in a relationship, your son full housewife, as them say, cookie lily, washi lily, cleaning lily. Nothing wrong with that. But then your man or your husband or your partner is outside educating himself, elevating in his career or his business, and you are doing nothing but being a pretty good, nice housewife. That is also fine in a lot of situations. But in the others, it also causes problems. Because I tell you something, when your husband or your wife is in that classroom, further in their education, speaking to other men or women who are getting their degree or masters, and his wife or her husband is at home and is stuck where he or she have met that person. Trust and believe. Many times when they talk about rich and switch, it's not rich and switch. Many times that causes people to grow apart. Because when you're now talking about your degree thing and your degree terms and your master's terms and your master's this and your doctor terminology and you book up a nice clean girl that is just as educated, or you book up a nice handsome body and a nice handsome fit body man that is just as educated, and your husband or your wife is at home talking about the same things that you spoke about on your first date, it causes people to grow apart. It's not about rich and switch. So I always encourage even my husband, listen, invest in yourself, educate yourself, elevate, let us work together. Because I would never want to reach a point in my relationship where we no longer can communicate, we no longer have anything to talk about in common. Right? I'm not saying that if I want to go and get my PhD, my husband should and have to and must have a PhD. Even if you're not getting formally educated in the classroom, read books, read more, know about social things, know about things that are happening in the economy, know about things that are happening in different countries, know about things so you can have conversations. Don't just keep talking about the same things that we would have spoken about on our first date. Right? I always tell people that. And it goes the same for emotional investment. Right? Many times, I, for one, have been guilty of this. Even within my marriage, I've been guilty of investing so much emotionally and neglect myself. So when my husband don't return as much as I thought I would have invested, it caused problems in the past. I remember having a conversation with my cousin's wife, and she said to me just before myself and my husband got married. It was either just before we got married or shortly after we got married. And she said to me, Zena, please find time to invest in yourself. And to my and she said, your husband should also find time to invest in himself. And it wasn't about a financial investment. It was about emotionally, spiritually, and exercising self-care, exercising time with the men and time with the girls or the ladies. Me time, right? Invest in yourself. Because when you give too much to one person and the returns are not as great as you expect them to be, it causes problems. And sometimes it causes an unfair problem because then your husband or your wife is doing what they're able to do based on their limitations and based on their own experiences and socialization. But because you poured everything into him or her, you expect a great deal in return. And honestly, thinking about it is an unfair expectation, right? Because remember, this same person has their own situations going through, right? So you have to invest in yourself emotionally as well. Sometimes you should just, like what I love to do, I will clean. I love a clean house. I love cleaning. Everybody that knows me knows this. I love to clean. I love to take a long soak. I love to soak. I don't like standing showers. That's me personally. I like to take a good soak. That's self-care for me. Oh, a nice clean house. and you're smelling up my fabuloso and my bleach in my bathroom. I love the smell of bleach and fabuloso in the bathroom. It makes it feel clean and just fresh. And then you're soaking in your bath and you light the two candles and you have your little caddy. And of course, I always have my little drink. Let me take a sip. Mm. Love it. Love being in the tub. So I'm a tough person. So that is my self-care. And in the past, I used to love doing different things to my hair. That was a way for me to express myself. So that was another type of self-care slash self-exploration for me. Now I'm a little more conservative with the hairstyles, and that's fine because that comes with age and maturity. But doing up your hair, now I'm going into the makeup thing. I'm not the makeup artist, but touch my face every now and again and just feel different. You know, so that's something that I've been doing for myself.
Have you done all of these? Okay, I'll give you some time. Go ahead. Thank you.
And I encourage my husband. My husband loves football. He sleeps, eats, drinks football. He loves it. We have a community field. That is his escape. He loves playing football. So I tell him, regardless of what is happening, please make sure you go play football because it puts him in a better mood. That's self-care time, right? He loves going to the barber. He loves getting a fresh cut. And of course, I love seeing when he gets a fresh cut. I know what time is it that he comes in with a fresh cut. All right. But he loves to get a fresh haircut. He loves to play his football. He loves to deal with his dog. Those are things that is his thing that right. My husband is a go out party kind of person. So when he says, he's gonna go chill with his friends, I encourage it. Go ahead because I know my husband is an outside kind of party person. We both aren't outside party people. You never know, and again, we'll do it, of course. We yesterday love it to own his kind of parties. We love those kind of parties. Haven't been to one in a while. Nonetheless, we're not party people. Give us a nice restaurant or a nice villa or a nice hotel. That's what we do. But for the most part, those are our individual things that we do. So for me, as regards to investing in a man or a man investing in a woman, I don't disagree with it. Because why then are you in a relationship if you're not going to invest in each other? If you're not going to encourage each other's growth? If you're not going to help the other person get to the next stage or to the next level? The only time it becomes a problem is when there's unfair game on one side or the other. When one person is just taking and not giving anything in return, or one person is only giving and not doing enough for themselves, then it becomes a dangerous game, right? So I always encourage persons, of course, why would I then get married if I'm not going to help my husband or invest in my husband? Whether financially, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, why would I be in a marriage? I want a partnership. I want him to do the same. So I invest in my husband. I'm not one of those ladies that don't spend. I spend on my husband because I want my husband look nice and clean. I also invest in his mind because I want my husband to be able to represent himself fully and properly out there because what he represents me, right? I invest in my husband emotionally. I'm a strong believer that men should be able to express themselves emotionally. My husband can tell you, my husband is not a emotionally expressive person, but the moment that I see that my husband is overwhelmed, especially where it affects his emotion or his mood, it doesn't matter what we were discussing, it doesn't matter how angry or how disappointed or how strong my point was, I step back. Always, no questions about it. I step back because I'm a firm believer in emotional support and I stand against emotional abuse. My husband can tell you I don't like to feel as if my feelings are not regarded. So I do the same for others. Once I'm in a conversation with you and I see where you're becoming overwhelmed emotionally, I step back. It's not that important anymore. I want to make sure that you're okay emotionally, right? Because we have to be fair. We have to realize that emotional abuse is just as detrimental as physical abuse. Because sometimes it's when up ears a chip, it's the thing called temporary insanity. It's real. You do something in the moment that you will regret. It's real. So I always tell people, I always encourage my sisterings, my queens, I always encourage them, just like I encourage my daughters. I'm not giving anybody, nobody I'm not giving you any type of leeway to feel like you're going to take somebody's life or you're going to abuse somebody. I'm not encouraging that, none at all. But I also firmly speak that way about do not take people's things, man or woman. Leave people's things alone if you don't have good intention for that person, because you have some people who are unreasonable. You have some persons who don't reason out things. They're not going to look at it as vanity. They're not going to look at it as if they can get this back. You're not going to look at it as if, listen, I call it what don't cost life, don't cost anything. And everybody think like that. So with that said, I encourage my daughters, the older one now, because our younger, she's just a baby. I encourage her, work for your own. When you get into a situation where you would have found that Mr. Right or Mr. Right now, he should be adding to what you are and who you are. Because you are not bringing, you're not only bringing to the table, you are the table.
You've gotten this far in the video. Please go ahead and subscribe. Remember to hit that bell. And while you're at it, please go ahead and like the video. Thank you.
Right? So I encourage my daughter to think like that, right? Have your own. Anything anybody come and bring to you, it should be brought up. It should not be the only thing that you have. And the same goes for men, right? Because when some women have that upper hand in them, then use it and whip you up. And then you ever hear them say, yeah, young upper men? Real thing, because some men, when they're lazy and they don't want to work and they want easy life and love life, they will stay in relationships that are unhealthy. And women, I'm a woman, I'm going to tell you straight the truth, the raw truth on the veranda. Yeah, I'm going to chat it up. Women lose respect for men who they have to take care of 100%. And because I know that, I make sure that I am not somebody that somebody has to take care of 100% either, right? However, the bias with that is it's more natural if a man would take care of a woman 100%, because that is what we were cultured to believe, that men provide and protect. So it's more natural for a woman, for a man to be okay with taking care of a woman than it is natural for a woman to take care of a man. And that's one of the unfair biases. And to be honest, I don't think it's an unfair bias, because I'm a firm believer that men should provide and protect, right? However, I also, for me personally, it's just not about believing that I don't want a man to take care of me 100%. I'm just a person who loves to work, to do something for myself. So I'm just naturally not that person to just sit down and allow somebody to just take care of me. You know, even if with my husband, he wants to provide for his family. He's a strong and firm provider, right? So even if my money is not being used to pay the bills, the money is still in the house because my husband and I, we have joint accounts, right? So we don't have his money, her money. If it's $10 in the account, we both have $10, right? So that's how we run our house. However, I do believe that it is more natural for a man to take care of a woman than it is for a woman to take care of a man. You can leave your comments, chat about it, chat what's on your mind, tell me what you feel about that. But that's how I feel. So yes, but I do believe it's more natural. When a woman has to take care of a man financially, eventually they lose respect for you. They treat you like they're annoyed, right? But you have some households where the man is the stay-at-home husband or the stay-at-home dad and it works perfectly fine. That's also okay. If that works for you, that's fine. No judgment, that's okay. I don't see anything wrong with that either, right? But if it's a case where the man just not working or not keeping a job or lazy and just don't want to work, the woman will text for you. I'm telling you that. The woman will text for you. Because when she goes out around her friends and their husbands or boyfriends are treating them, doing nice stuff for them, buy something nice for them, and you just the woman because she do that for you, she is going to get tired of you. And that's just the raw truth. So as regards to investing in each other, it's about striking a balance, finding a happy medium. Everything overdone can be a problem, or something underdone is a problem, right? So while you're investing in your partner, make sure you take some time to invest in yourself. But I do believe that in a partnership, in a relationship, it's only natural. You're going to have to do that. But men don't go around flinging out your money, approaching women, and the first thing you want is to frighten them with your money. And then when all she wants from you is money and material things, you get offended. That's not how it works. If that's all you're bringing to the table, that's all she's going to stretch out her hands, or that's all she's going to expect. So you have to be realistic, you have to be fair. During courtship, it's only natural that you're going to do nice things and you're going to take them out on dates and whatever. Don't go through the courtship expecting that because you carry the woman to eat some dinner, you expect to get something else. It's an unfair exchange. You can't bring food for the money. Oh, come on, that's an unfair exchange. If that's the case, tell her straight to listen, because split this bill 50-50. And to be completely honest, if you tell me on the first day to split any bill with you 50-50, it's gonna be a problem. I'm going to pay my half, but the best believe you ain't seeing me back. And I ain't no gold digger, but I'm telling you, it's just not a good look, right? But you can't take because they bring the woman to go eat little food, she must give you her body. That's an unfair exchange, right? So for me, it's where you are in the relationship that you should determine how much you're going to invest in that relationship or in that person. Because I don't think, it's not logical, it's not realistic, it makes no sense to just meet somebody and the person is supposed to buy them a car. Or, you know what I mean? That might be an exaggeration, but you know what I mean. The state of the relationship should determine how much of an investment you're going to put in, whether financially or otherwise. It depends to me on the type of relationship and where you are in that relationship. But it's only natural that once you're in a relationship, a committed relationship, a marriage, you are going to invest in your partner. Yes, and why would I not want somebody who believes in me enough to want to invest in me one way or the other, who believe in us enough to want to invest in me because we're both going to benefit. And the same for me, I want to invest in my husband as I already am and as he already is for me, because we both are going to benefit from it. And when it's a fair game, when it is fair exchange, it's easier. When it's fair exchange, you don't have to worry about whether it's going to work or not work, and I wonder if I should invest too much in this person, or I wonder if I shouldn't invest too much in this person.
It is now time for
Without anything want to hear from my two chatters what their opinions are on this topic. So, make a listen.
Should couples invest in one another? Of course. There's a saying, happy wife, happy life, or simply put, happy partner, happy life, whether be wife or husband. I mean, if you're in a relationship and you want to be happy, you invest in each other and share everything, you know. I mean, it's only natural. I think the more you invest in your partner, the easier your whole life is. Far less stress, everything. In actual fact, I also believe that whichever partner not willing to invest in the other partner shouldn't necessarily be a part of a couple. You know, and it stands the reason that as long as both parties are happy, your whole life should be far better. That's just my opinion.
And a very good opinion that is. I completely agree with that statement. If you're not willing to invest in somebody other than yourself, you do not belong in a relationship, right? You have some persons who just have a selfish way of thinking, and it's not even intentional. They just have a single frame of mind, and that's okay too. But if you are like that, just stay by yourself or just knock and go and let the person know what you're about while you're doing that. But for me, I truly agree with that statement. If you're unwilling to invest in somebody else, you do not belong in a relationship. You should not be a part of. You should not be a part of any kind of serious relationship because it is a natural part of the process. You don't have to invest one way or the other. It's only natural. So, thank you for that, my chatter. Let me hear what this other chatter has to say.
The answer for me is yes. Because when you enter into a relationship, actually it becomes a partnership. Yes, sometimes we may do argue, but forget about the arguing part and think about the good part. You both have a business and your other half stand with you through the business and you do the same too. So my answer is yes, we can invest into each other.
Okay, you heard that chatter. What are your opinions? Do you agree or disagree? I really want to hear. So, your opportunity, what's on your mind? Do it in the comment section. Please, let us have a conversation down there. I really want to hear what you think about investing in your partner or your partner investing in you. Do you agree? Do you disagree? And why? Either way, why do you think so or not think so? Please let me know. I really want to hear about this one. And I'm looking forward to seeing it, reading your comments and interacting with you. So, as per usual, big up on yourself. Thank you for pulling up the veranda. I love to see the growth. Please tell a friend, tell a family member, tell them you're welcome on the veranda. You're welcome over the yard. All right, I really want to see the veranda full up. So, share out the video, comment, like it up, and do the honors. Subscribe. Remember, as I told you before, it's now so much easier to subscribe. You see that little thing there at the bottom of the screen? Go in my little logo on it, just click that, and you can subscribe right there and then. I appreciate you. I appreciate you taking your time out to listen to me chat on my veranda, right? I really am looking forward to see more people on the veranda. So go ahead, just do the right thing, all right? Amazing. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on our next veranda chat.
Chattingzpan Divaranda.